Hi everyone, welcome to the session on Power BI for visualizations and for data analytics, which I'm presenting as part of the Ideas Emerging Technologies and Skills Scholarship Program. My name is Analyst, and today I will guide you through the powerful capabilities of Power BI, which is a leading business intelligence tool that is basically there to help you transform real data into meaningful insights. Today's class introduction where I just tell you what to expect. So you should expect the basic skills you need to be able to run Power BI. Of course, we cannot go from beginner to advanced in 4 weeks. The more practice you do with Power BI, the better it gets. Okay, I'll introduce you to Power BI desktop, and before that, just the basics of data analytics, business intelligence, and techniques for transforming your data. I will introduce you to basics of modeling data, how to build data models in Power BI. Now, Power BI automatically detects it, so half of the time you're actually just making sure what Power BI detected is accurate and just correcting it. I'll walk you through creating calculated columns, using calculated columns for advanced data analysis. I'll walk you through the fundamentals of visualization, steps to create simple reports, and all of that, just using Power BI services and mobile services. Now, why business intelligence? Now, business intelligence is actually essential for several reasons. The first one I have here is lack visibility to key areas of the business. So many organizations actually struggle with visibility into key business areas. Now, business intelligence provides a way to monitor and manage these areas effectively. Business intelligence also tools like Power BI helps you to uncover historical patterns, enabling you to forecast some things, and you can plan. You can do some strategic planning in your organization. Now, quick and efficient access to data is also crucial for making timely decisions. I mean, it's with data that you're able to predict things, to make the right decisions in your business. So, business intelligence tools actually help you to streamline the process of even retrieving the data and making sense out of it. Predictive analysis as well. The tools enable you to do predictive analysis, so it helps your business to anticipate like future needs or future trends and future outcomes of some of the decisions you're making. By integrating business intelligence tools from multiple applications and sources, you actually have a holistic view of your business. Okay, and all of these capabilities are things that help us as businesses, as individuals, make data-driven decisions that help us to be more effective or efficient. The new generation of business intelligence. Now, if you can see here, I have the first wave, the technical business intelligence, second wave, the self-service, and the third wave, the end user. For my first wave, initially, like business intelligence was managed by IT professionals and business analysts. They controlled the data, access the analysis. Now, this approach was was suitable for complex data needs, but it was limited to a few users. The second wave was the self-service. So this wave actually allowed business users to access and analyze data, reducing reliance on IT professionals. And the third wave is where everybody, you and I, today Power BI extends analytic capabilities to everyone in the organization. So with Power BI, all users, regardless of their technical expertise, they can all collect, they can analyze, they can visualize, they can even share data. And this accessibility helps in making data-driven decisions across all levels in an organization. Now, an overview of Power BI. Power BI is basically a business intelligence tool that allows you to connect to various data sources to visualize reports, data reports and dashboards, and you can share them with anybody you want. Power BI actually includes Power BI desktop, Power BI service, and Power BI mobile app. I think it's in the next slide. Okay, yeah, this is it. So your Power BI desktop is what we're going to be using for this course. It's a free desktop application for creating and designing reports and visualization. It supports your data modeling, your transformations. It allows you to prepare your data for analysis, do the analysis, and even visualize it. Your Power BI service, on the other hand, is an online service where users can publish, view, and share reports and dashboard. It enables real-time data updates and collaboration, and I think it's you pay for it. You have to subscribe. Your Power BI mobile is mobile application on your phone for viewing and interacting with the reports on your dashboard. You can use it on your iOS, your Android, your Windows device. It just ensures that everybody can access data on the go. Now, these components together, they are the things that help us do data analysis and visualizations with Power BI. Now, we'll just go a bit deeper into the workflow of Power BI. The workflow in Power BI and how all of these things fit together is, for the first one, we have data discovery, which is like data extraction. And in this data discovery, you're basically identifying and correcting or connecting various database sources, whether the ones on cloud, on premises, the ones on your system. You're connecting every single thing. Extraction and transformation, you're basically using Power Query to clean it, to filter it, to prepare it for data analysis. Your data modeling for your relationships and calculation. You're building data models by defining relationships and creating calculations using Power Pivot. And then your data visualization, you're creating nice visuals to represent what you've done. Your mobile data, Power BI, you can access it anywhere. Your Power BI service, you can share your results and refresh. So you can publish your reports to Power BI service and you can share it with colleagues. And you will use the mobile apps on the go. Now, when you use this workflow, this Power BI workflow, it ensures that you follow every step, so you're able to transform your data, you're able to effectively model it, you're able to effectively visualize it, and all of this is to help you to provide actionable insights to your data. This is just a continuation of what I've just mentioned earlier, so we'll just pass it. Now, I know because you guys are doing data analytics, you've done Excel, there's SQL, there's Tableau. So how do we compare Power BI to other popular tools? Now, for Power BI and Tableau, they are both powerful business intelligence tools, but Power BI is more cost effective. I mean, why isn't it for free, right? And it integrates seamlessly with like other Microsoft products like Azure, SharePoint, Excel. Tableau offers cross-platform, so you can access it on Windows and Mac, but for Power BI, it's only on Microsoft. Tableau is also known for its robust visualization capabilities, but it tends to be more expensive. For Power BI and Excel, while Excel I know is really great for your data manipulation, your basic analysis, it lacks advanced visualizations. So Power BI extends that Excel's functionality by offering more sophisticated visualizations, real-time data refreshes, and other collaboration features. Understanding this will help you decide which one you want to use for whatever it is you want to do when it comes to data analytics. So you can install and download the Power BI desktop. Is available for free on your Microsoft store, so you can just go here, you can download it, just type Power BI, Power BI, and this is where you're downloading. Okay, this particular one. So once you're going to launch it, I've already installed it, so I can just click on it and just open it. Anyway, so yeah, you can do that, or you can download it online. Now, once you download your Power BI, you can now launch it. You have a blank report. You can do a lot of things. I'm going to show you guys what you can do with Power BI in a bit, but I just want us to cover like all of the notes. So when you launch your application, this is actually what it looks like. Okay, the key components are let me just put a slideshow. So the key components are your ribbon. Ribbon controls like all the controls and options you need to build your report, similar to like other Microsoft. So like Microsoft Word, Excel, they all have this ribbon, right? Your view, you have your report view, you have your data view, and you have your model view. Report view for designing reports, data view for viewing like your raw data in tables, and model view for managing relationships and data models. Your canvas, this is your canvas, the white area where you'll be designing your visualizations. We have a page selector. I can decide to choose page 1, page 2, page 3. We have the filters pane, where you can apply filters to your data. This is the visualization pane, where you can choose your visuals. And then that is our fields pane. You can display tables. Any table that you've imported, you would see it here, all the tables and the fields you're using. Now Power BI basically it includes like several powerful features, and one of them is Power Query. Power Query is extremely essential in Power BI because it's what allows us to import, transform, and clean our data from various sources. We also have Power Pivot. Power Pivot basically enables us to create advanced models, supports complex calculation and large data volumes. Your Power View allows users to create interactive visualizations that are easy to understand by everyone. We have the Power Map, which basically adds the spatial analysis capability, so you can see you can visualize data geographically. So yeah, that's pretty much all of it. These are the major components of Power BI. Now, Power BI's integration with Microsoft products enhances its functionality. You can import Excel datasets into Power BI for more advanced analysis. You can use Azure, which is a cloud service, provides for a robust backend for real-time analytics. And then you can use SharePoint. Organizations to share Power BI reports alongside other documents, and this helps with collaboration and data governance. Now, you as a Power BI data analyst or as a Power BI expert, you have a huge role to play in transforming raw data into actionable insights, because this tends to influence business strategy and operations profitability, revenue, and all of that. Your key responsibilities will include: first, data preparation. You clean and transform the data to ensure that it's ready for analysis, and this involves, if there are any missing values, you know what to do with them, correcting errors, merging data from multiple sources. Now, I have a short lab today just to familiarize us with all of this, and I will just show you how to just do some of these things. Next thing you have is creating dashboards and reports. You should be able to design interactive dashboards and reports that highlight key metrics and trends. You're sharing insights with stakeholders, communicating your findings clearly to help your stakeholders make informed decisions. Data modeling, you build accurate models that reflect your business processes. Now, some of the skills that you need include data visualization, modeling, and DAX. Okay, building from data visualization, you're transforming complex data set into visual formats. When they give you data, they don't want to know how you're going to analyze it. They just want to see what you've done. Okay, so if we're selling, like this example I gave last week as well, Chicken Republic. We're selling the phone between rice and chicken together. And initially, before, we're just selling rice separate, chicken separate, and it was 1,000. So how can we make more packages that will make us popular or will make people patronize us like the last time? You do that with data. I just want you guys to disregard this transcript because what? Anyway, so data modeling. As an analyst, you have to be proficient in building data models that reflect business processes. Now, you have to be able to define relationships between data. You have to ensure data integrity. You have to structure the databases to support efficient data queries. You also have to be proficient in DAX. DAX is really data analysis expressions, and it allows you to manipulate and do some calculations across tables in Power BI. So that's what we use to create your calculated columns, your measures. It actually adds some sophistication to your analysis. Setting up data sources, I will go for a demonstration, but I just want to finish all of the slides. To set up your data sources, I'll show you. I'll just show you how to do it. Okay, so I think we can pass the slide. So Power BI actually supports creating connecting various sources of data, so you can do your Excel files, your SQL database, and online services. And I'll show you how to get data feature to connect the sources, and because this flexibility actually allows us to work with data from multiple platforms seamlessly. Next thing I want us to do is data preparation. I've already spoken about it, but I will introduce you guys to Power Query within Power BI. And Power Query is used for data importation, cleansing, and transformation. Major transformations we use Power Query for are: you can filter rows, so you remove unnecessary data that does not meet certain criteria. For example, you're filtering out data from a specific date range, or you're cleaning text data, so you can methods for cleaning up text data. You can trim spaces, you can correct any capitalization errors, and you can remove unwanted characters. For modifying columns, you can change data types for columns, ensuring that there is accuracy and analysis. So an example would be you're converting a column from text to date type. You can also remove columns and irrelevant rows to streamline the data set and improve performance. You can unpivot and pivot, so you're basically transforming your data from wide to long formats and vice versa. And this is very useful, especially when dealing with where information might be spread across like different columns. I have an example for today, and you guys will see how that works. Oh no, I think it's next week's example. Anyway, so you can add conditional columns, you can add columns based on if, then, else logic, and you can create new data points that are derived from your existing columns. Now, what is Power BI used for? It's a powerful tool in the realm of business intelligence and data analytics, and its primary uses include, you have to track KPIs. Power BI allows businesses to monitor key metrics and performance indicators in real time. Through visualization and data analysis, you can use Power BI to uncover insights that may not even be apparent from your raw data. And by providing all of these clear and actionable insights, Power BI, in the long run, it supports better decision-making processes across different organizations. The process for data analysis is the process of data analysis in Power BI involves several steps. The first one, we already have data. You're gathering data from different sources. So this process begins by such as getting data from your different sources, gathering them, like your internal databases, cloud storage, business operations, and stuff. Next thing you do, you clean. You make making data usable by cleaning it, filtering, reshaping it to address any quality issues or or to prevent any inaccuracy in the final analysis. Next thing, you perform the analysis. Using Power BI, you can explore the data, perform statistical analysis. You can even apply machine learning algorithms if necessary. You can now generate reports and dashboards, basically presenting the refined data in interactive reports and dashboard that will highlight your KPIs, any trends, and any patterns. Decision making. Now, using this insight that we've gotten, the ultimate goal of the data analysis is to provide actionable insights that can influence decision making and strategic planning. So with all of this, now your clean, accurate, and reliable data forms the backbone of any successful business intelligence product, preventing inaccuracies in the final analysis. Now, overview of Power BI desktop. I'm going to go to Power BI desktop where I show you guys, but I will just tell you about it a little. Your Power BI is a free desktop application for Windows that provides comprehensive environment for us to do our data analysis and reporting. It integrates like your Power Query, Power Pivot, Power View add-ins for Excel, removing barrier entries for entries for business intelligence. Your Power BI is basically updated frequently, especially if you download it from the Microsoft Store. So it ensures that you always have the latest features. The process of importing data in Power BI involves the following steps. We get the data. Okay, you get data, you collect the data source, you load it or you transform it. You load it directly into your Power BI, or you can transform to make the necessary data transformation using Power Query. You close and you apply, and then it loads your Power BI desktop. So about I have a demonstration to show you. I'm just saying it before we go into this demonstration. These are the different kinds of files you can put into your Power BI. You can have Excel, CSV, XML, JSON, your database, your SQL, Access, Oracle database, your IBM Informix, any kind of your MySQL, all of that. You can get Power BI datasets, Power BI data flows. All of these are sources that you can use in Power BI. So you can load data, all of that. Who is this query editor? We need to transform our data. All of this is for the demonstration. You can sort your data in descending order. You can sort it by other columns. You can filter by individual or multiple values. You can remove columns. You can use first row as headers. Yeah, when we start working like really well into Power BI, you guys will have a better understanding of this things. I think that's pretty much all of it for your function. So okay, I think we're on the right track. So your basic transforms, basically this includes like removing columns, using the first row as headers, you're duplicating some columns. Your GI driven transforms are okay, like grouping data, pivoting and unpivoting columns, renaming the columns, changing text case. So these are just little examples of all of this, but a demonstration will do it better. Transforming data in Power BI desktop, you can add column for example. So the add column from example feature in Power BI is a powerful tool. It recognizes like pattern in sample results and automatically writes the necessary transforms based on the data. So users can choose which column from Power Query editor samples from, or use all columns. Now, an example of this is, for example, you have a column with full names and you want to create separate one for first name and last name. You can provide examples of the desired output, and Power Query will create the transformation logic for you. Now, this feature actually saves a lot of time and reduces complexity of manual data transformation tasks. Now, combining data in Power BI desktop can be through several ways. You can, okay, this is all for column example. You can append queries. Now, appending queries, you basically add the rows of one table to the bottom of another table. So you can append two tables or more and output the result as a new query, or you can append to an existing query. For merging queries, it's basically like joining query results or joining columns of one table to another based on a common field. From folder, you can merge multiple files within a folder into one query, and it's useful for consolidating data from like different similar sources. And this option allows you to combine and manage data from various sources. I think that's it. I think in this, that's pretty much, I think this should be the last slide. So in this session, these slides will be able to cover the fundamentals of Power BI. So the importance of business intelligence, the capabilities of Power BI, its components, the desktop, service, and mobile details. Hi everyone, this is the demonstration part of last week's class. So first thing I'm going to do is, for those who haven't installed your Power BI, we're just going to go to Microsoft Store, which is here, and I'm going to install Power BI. Now I have already installed it, so I'm just going to show you guys how to do it. You just come here and you search your Power BI desktop, as you can see here. By doing that, Power BI desktop, it brings you to this app here. Now I already have it, it's already installed, so it's just going to tell me to open it. So we're going to open Power BI. Now if you have any problem at this point, you can send me an email. I will drop it in the group chat, but it is this easy to get Power BI on your desktop. So I'm just going to open up Power BI, and then we can just start going through the basics of Power BI, the interface. Let's have a good understanding of it before we start using it. All right. So when you open Power BI, this is what you're welcome with. This is like your welcome screen, and you can open other files. You can follow this tutorial step by step guide on what is Power BI. You can open recently shared files. You can create blank query reports, and you can select a data source to start with. Okay, so but because I just want us to just see what is going what see Power BI before we use it for today's project. I'm just going to click on blank report so that we can just see the interface. Okay, now when you click on it, this is what it comes to. Now the first thing here, I know you will see it on Word, PowerPoint, Excel. We have the ribbon. In our ribbon here, we have tabs like Home, where you can get data, transform your data. Getting data, you can get data from various sources. So if you have, there are much more sources that you can import your data from. So your files, you have your Excel, your CSV file, your PDF, your database, your SQL, MySQL, Access, Oracle, IBM, your Microsoft Fabric, your data flows, your warehouses. You can import all of these data types. And once you do, when you select what you want, you can connect. So I'm not selecting it yet. I just want us to see Power BI first. Next thing is you have recent sources. You want to enter your data. You have a table, or maybe you want to click everything here. You can just click on create table. You can add your columns, several columns. You can rename them. You can add your rows as well, and you can load or you can edit it. So I'm not doing either. So I'm just going to cancel since we're just having a walk around into Power BI. By saying that, it took me out of Power BI. So you're just going to open it again. Okay. So next thing you have is transform data. Transform data here. This is your Power Query editor. So when you put transform data, it automatically takes you to Power BI to your Power Query editor. This is your Power Query editor. In our Power Query editor, we can add new data sources. So whatever source you have, you can add it. You can import recent sources. You can also enter data. But why it's called the Power Query editor is because you can transform your data here. You can clean your data. You can make a lot of changes to your data. Now, because I have not attached anything here, it probably will show me all the functionalities of the Power Query editor. So when we put in our documents, you guys will use Power BI Query editor to use. But anyway, some of the things you can do are you can refresh your preview, you can choose columns from other tables, you can remove columns, you can keep your rows, you can remove rows, you can split columns, you can change your data types, you can filter it ascending, descending order, you can sort it, you can merge queries, you can append your queries, you can do text analytics, you can do vision, you can use it for Azure machine learning as well, and you can combine files. For transform as well, you can use first row as headers, you can transpose, you can reverse some of your rows, you can count rows, you can change data type, you can make it detect data type as well, you can rename, you can replace some values, you can fill in from other tables. You can pivot your columns and unpivot them. You can move, you can convert your list, you can split your columns. Like all of these things, you can use a lot of statistics, you can use some standards, we have some formulas, anything scientific. You can change settings for your date, your time. You can run your Python script and your R. Okay. For your add column as well, you can do the same. You can take column from examples, you can add custom columns, you can invoke functions. So yeah, these are just some of the things. It will be easier to explain it when we have our document in Power Query. So I'm just going to close and apply so that it takes me back to my Power BI desktop. You can add new visuals, you can add text box. So any visual that you want to add, these are our visualizations, but you can add them from here as well. You can add text boxes, you can import visuals from other places, so from app source, and you can get it from your files. You can create new measures and quick measures. You can publish your reports, you can use the AI Copilot. You can add new pages, new visuals under your insert. You can add key influencers for your business. You can also add Q&A. You can add a decomposition tree. You can add a narrative. By adding You can add the composition tree, you can add a narrative. You can add a narrative is basically like an auto-generated written summary of your report. You can add a paginated report. Both reports will update in real time. You can also embed your Power App so that people who use it can see your report without leaving Power BI. You can also create a Power Automate button so that you can trigger automated tasks without having to leave Power BI. You can insert text boxes. You can insert different buttons like this. You can also add some shapes. You can import images from outside. For your modeling, you can manage all your relationships, your one to many, your cardinalities, and your cross filter direction. You can add new measures, you can add quick measure, you can add a new column, new table. You can change the detection since Power BI automatically detects it, so you can correct it. You can add new parameters, you can manage roles, you can put a little bit of access control for security purposes, who accesses it and who doesn't. For your view, you have like this is the interesting part. You can change the theme, you can browse for themes online, you have a theme gallery, and all of this here are not okay for you. You can customize your current theme. I mean, if you have tech skills, you can even create your own theme, to be honest. Sorry. I'm having a very bad cold that has refused to go, so my voice is like this. I'm sorry about that. You can have mobile layout as well, what it will look like if I was using my mobile BI. And you can add filters, bookmarks, you can put selections, you can analyze performance, and you can sync your slices to control their visibility. So you can optimize for performance, you can post some of your visuals, you can even refresh them. And for help, we have guided learning, we have training videos online, there are documentations. You can contact Power BI support. We have Power BI blogs, we have communities, we have Power BI for developers. You can even submit an idea and somebody can help you out with it. And we have other external tools that help, and we have consulting services. Now, that is all about our ribbon. If you look under the ribbon, we have something called our view here. So these views are four. Okay. So we have on the left sidebar here, we have three main views. This is where you basically, for your report view, that's what we have here. This is our canvas. What we do here is you create and arrange visualizations for your canvas. So you can drag any of these visuals. Sorry, using one hand. Okay, so you can decide to import any of these visuals into your canvas. Okay, but the sake of it, we have nothing to visualize now, so I'm just going to remove it. Next, we have our data view. So this data view is where you see your table and what you've loaded. Now, if you look closely for each of them, our ribbon changes. So for our ribbon, when we're in report view, this is our ribbon. When we're in data view or table view, our ribbon changes to adapt to the functionality of seeing our data, right? So we have our model view as well. We also have a different interface, and then we have a DAX query view, which is very new. I think is the latest update. Um, yeah, so you can do all of that here. Now your report view is where you create visualizations, like I said. Your data view, on the other hand, you see and work with the data that you imported into Power BI. So you see your table here. When we import our Excel sheet, you'll be able to see all of these things better. Your model view allows you to manage any relationship between tables. So this is where your cardinalities come in. You can manage your relationships by clicking on here, which is not active now because we don't have any data. Okay. DAX, for DAX, the data analysis expressions. This is where you can now add your DAX queries. And what it does is automatically goes but sends it to your data pane. So you can put it here and you can run it. Okay. Next thing we have, we'll go back to my report view. This is your canvas. So this central area is what you call the canvas. This is where you build your report by dragging and dropping different visual elements. You can add like multiple pages as well to your report using this page selector at the bottom. Next thing we have our filters, our visualizations, and our data. Now, for our data pane is also called It used to be called the fields pane. I don't know why it's showing the tapin now, but I think it's came with the update. So on this on our right side here, the first one is the fields pane. This one displays all the tables and fields in your data model. So you can drag these fields from here, from your here, right onto your canvas for your visualization. Okay. Next is our visualization pane, the most interesting. So next to this fields pane, we have our visualization pane, and this contains all the visualization types available in Power BI. Power BI. So you have your bar chart, your pie chart, your line chart, your area chart. You can select visualization type. You can customize it using the options that we have here and much more. Okay. Next one we have is the filters pane. Here, this allows you to apply filters to your data. So at the visual, the page, or report level, the filters actually just help you in refining the data that you have displayed in your visualization. Okay. So next thing, since I've shown you guys, I just want to import our data. We've gone through the Power BI interface, so it's just time to get to work. How does it even work? So for me, I have an Excel workbook that I'm going to use, and I have this data set that I've already created. Actually, I did not create this data set. I downloaded it from GitHub, and it's Alex the analyst. It's Alex's data set. So I'm just going to open it. When I open it, if I had many tables, now when you open this is by opening it, it automatically brings me here, my navigator. So if I had if I want to check, I had a lot of tables and I wanted to check. With this navigator, I can search. Okay, by searching, you can find whatever table it is that you're looking for. So personally, I have just one for this, and if I don't select it, I do not see it. I have to select it to be able to load or transform data. Okay, so I will select it. By selecting it, you can see basically a little you can see the tables in this sheet or in this table. You can see store, products, price, date, and all of that. Okay, so I want to transform it. Now transforming it is basically cleaning it and making it um easy for analysis. It's basically
So
cleaning it and making
as
it
I was saying, so anyway, when you load it, you can see all of the tables here.
easy for
You can
analysis.
load or you can transform. If you're sure of your data and you're sure it's clean enough for analysis, you can just load it. For me, I want to make some changes, so I'm going to go transform data. Now, when you click on transform data, what happens is it loads Power Query Editor. This is your Power Query Editor. Okay. So first thing I want to do is I want to let's look at it first. So now it's very different when you put in your data. If I want, I can add more sources, so more Excel sheets, and they will all come under here. Now my queries. I can add recent sources. I can enter data in the table. So you click on enter data, you can type other things, just like the lab I attached in the Google Drive. So it will take us out and it will bring us back. You can let's see finish. Let you load up again. All right. So you can enter data, you can manage some of your parameters, you can edit them. If you have a new parameter you want to do, add in this file, you can add it. We have advanced editor, you can manage relationships. You can manage your tables, sorry. Delete, you can duplicate, you can reference some of these things, you can choose your columns, you can go to a particular column, you can remove some columns, you can keep your rows, so you can keep top rows, remove top rows, keep bottom rows, remove bottom rows, things like that. You can arrange in ascending or descending order, so and descending order as well. Or if you don't even want it to have any order, you just come here in your transformation steps under applied, and I just remove the sort that I just did. You can also split your columns, you can group them, you can change data types, you can merge queries, which is basically you're merging one table with another. You can append queries, you can use text analytics, you can use vision and Azure machine learning. Most of the things for transforming are under the transform tab on our ribbon, and here you can use your first row as headers. You can even group it, your tables. You can transpose, you can reverse some of your rows, you can count your rows, you can detect, you can change data type, you can allow it to detect data type. You can rename some of your fields, you can replace values, so you select replace anywhere where you see Costco with maybe Fadila. You can fill in your rows, you can pivot and unpivot your columns, you can move them, you can convert them to lists, you can change formats, uppercase, lowercase, you can capitalize each word, you can extract some files, so you can extract maybe just the first characters or second characters or maybe a range, or yeah, last characters. You can extract things, you can pass some of these things, so you can extract rows and columns from your XML or your JSON. You can use statistics, you can use formulas like sum, minimum, maximum. You can calculate your average, your median, you can calculate standard deviation, you can ask it to count some of your values. You can also use your standards, your plus, minus, you can use some scientific formulas as well. You can run your R script and your Python script here. You can add some columns. You can invoke the custom column functions. You can add conditional columns, calculated columns. You can duplicate your columns here as well. But anyway, for the course of just this basic lab, just so that we are able to do some cleaning, check on our relationships and do some visualizations for this tutorial, what I'm going to start with is I'm going to, yeah, this data is actually for campaign. We're going for campaign for about a week. And these are things that I've gone to buy to help us sustain ourselves while at our campsite. Now, I went to Walmart, Target, and Costco to get some things. And some of the things I bought were rice, some dried beans, some canned vegetables, some bottled water, and some milk. If I scroll through, you would see all of these things that I bought. Okay, but one of them is most likely not to last us long. I know milk will not last us long. We don't have a fridge. Where are we going to keep that my milk for long? So I'm just going to remove it now. What I'm going to do is called filtering in Power Query. You click on this arrow or you can right click on it. You can filter everything based on what you want. So we have text filters for equals, does not equal, something begins with, does not begin with, depending on what you need to use it for. For me, what I have for each of these, they're all here, and I just want to remove milk. So I'm going to go to milk and uncheck it. Once I uncheck it, my milk is gone. Okay, so that's my first transformation step. Now, for everything that you do in Power Query, in this your transformation tab, applied steps, everything will be here. If I decide this filtering, the milk that I just put, I want it back. Let's keep the milk. All you have to do is come here and click on the X, and your milk is back. Okay, so but I still want to remove it, so I'm still going to go back and remove the milk. Okay, next thing I want to do is, why do we have date there? I would like to change it actually to date purchased. So I'm going to right click and click on rename, so I can rename it to date underscore purchased. Okay, and yeah, it's already in transformation, it has been reflected. Now if there were many other things I wanted to do, I can do all of them in Power BI, but for just this one, I feel like just applying it. Now for this data type that we see here, ABC is for text, right? ABC is for under text. So store and product information, they are all text. But price, I don't know why it's showing decimal. I want it to be a fixed decimal number. So I'm going to put it, so once you see it, it's money. 22.99, all of these things matter. Okay? Especially when dealing with money. So I'm going to leave it. I think that's the last change I want to make. Let's look and see if we have anything we want to change. The dates are okay as well. This represented with the date data type in Power BI, and this was auto detected by Power BI, by the way. For this one too, for this one, for this one. So most times when you put in your data, it automatically detects majority of things. So I think this is okay for me, to be honest. I think we can just go ahead. So I'm going to close and apply. By closing and apply, it will load my data set into Power BI. Okay, so let's just wait for it to load it. Okay, so our data has now been loaded into Power BI. In our data or fields pane by the right, extreme right, you can see it. You can see everything here. Okay, so our views, we have our report view. This is where our canvas is. This is where we're going to drag all our visualizations. Our data tab, this is where I look at the data one last time to make sure that what I'm about to do, I don't have any regrets. The data is fine. Okay. If I wanted to create a new measure or something, a new table, I'll write a DAX expression by clicking on new measure to help me calculate like a value from my data. So I can use quick measures from the list of common calculations that are here. I can create a new column that calculates value for maybe some of my rows, and I can create a new table. But personally, for this one, I don't think I want to do anything. I think this is fine by me. Okay, so let's take a look at the model view. The model view, we have just one table. If we had another table, there may be a relationship between tables, but it's just one table. So there is nothing to detect, there is no relationship, it's just on its own. Okay, but I know for the next lab we have relationships because we need to talk about creating those models and managing relationships between them. Now the good thing with Power BI is that it automatically detects relationships. Sometimes it's actually wrong, right? Rarely, or maybe it doesn't represent it the way you as the person with the data understands the data more than Power BI. It will just check based on generic relationships and identify it. So if you decide what Power BI has detected is not what I want, you go to manage your relationships and you change it. It could be from your cross filter direction or cardinalities. So whatever it is, you can make those changes using this manage relationships. So for me, this looks good actually. I mean, I only have four columns. So yeah, I think this represents my work. Okay. This is the DAX query view. If I was to run any DAX expressions, this is what I would do. Um, all right. So for the course of my tutorial for this week, what I'm going to be doing using the DAX query view. Okay. So I'm just going to skip it. Now what I want to do is I want to go back to my report view. There are some questions I want to ask from this my data that I have. If I look here now, many things are going through my head. Okay. First one is, where am I spending the most money and the least amount of money? I'm going to Target, Walmart, Costco, and I'm buying the same item. So I'm buying rice at these stores, I'm buying dried beans at these three stores, I'm buying bottled water at these three stores, I'm buying canned vegetables there also as well, with all the prices for each of them there. Okay. So I want to know, and these are across about 3 months, January, February, and March. I want to know how much I'm spending at each of these stores, and the fact that I'm buying the same items at each of the stores. Are some of the things cheaper in some of the stores I'm going to? Um, is it more convenient for me to just buy it in the cheaper store, or is it farther? If it's closer to my house and it's cheaper, why am I going to Walmart to go and buy maybe, let's say, dried beans or something? Okay, I want to see how much I've spent in total for each of these stores. So how much are these stores getting from me? I mean, if they're getting money from me, I should benefit either by points, certain discounts after I reach particular spending limit and stuff. And I really shouldn't be buying everything from the same store. So I just want to see with this data. Now, it even helps me personally, like my normal spending, just not when I'm planning for camping. And what are the things that are cheaper in some stores? So yeah, we're just going to use our visualization to be able to identify these things. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do, like I said earlier, we have different visualizations. These are all my visualizations. This is my blank canvas. So anytime I want to do a visual, I drag from my fields pane or my data pane, I drag it to my canvas and then I select my visualization. Now you can do it the other way. You can also select your visualization and drag the values to the visual. So let's say and product, price and product. So all of these things will actually show. Okay. So how much am I spending here? Now this visual doesn't really represent what I'm trying to see. But yeah, I'm just trying to drag to show you guys how to do it. So first thing I'm going to do for me is I'm going to try checking where I'm spending the most amount of money. So I'm going to drag every store to my canvas, excuse me, and then the price of every store. The price, that's how much I've spent in each of the stores. Now, if you look closely, you can see I've spent 210 in Costco, Target 219, and Walmart 225. Total I spent 654. Okay. Now I want to know. I've already seen that Costco Walmart is the highest. Costco is the cheapest by about $15. This even makes me want to even find out what is the difference, considering I'm buying the same things from these places. Okay. So I'm going to use a visual to represent it. So let's just use our clustered bar chart. Hold on, I'm just going to close the filter so I can see my dashboard properly. Okay. So I'm going to leave space actually at the top for my title that we're going to use. And yeah, this is what it's saying. So, but here I can't even see how much I spent in Costco, how much I spent in Target, how much I spent in Walmart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and add data labels. So with data labels on my chart, I can see how much I spent. But also, um, they are all in the same color. I need it to, I need to see it. I need to know. I need to see it in different colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to my legend. I'm going to add a legend, and I'll just drag store. This is my legend here. I'll just drag my store to the legend. So it will create a legend for me. Um so this is what I have now. I can see it. But this doesn't actually represent what I want. So at the end I might have to just use this and then drag my store to the legend. So now I can see how much I'm spending on each of these stores. I can see that Walmart is the highest with 225 and Costco is the cheapest with 210. That's just one way to do it. I could have just dragged the visual first and then drag the tables or drag the price and the store here, but I just prefer that step. Okay. So next thing I want to do is I want to from here now I know I've answered my first question. I'm spending the most amount of money in Walmart. Okay, so how am I spending it? If I'm spending the most amount of money, should I be buying everything from Walmart? Like I want to know the distribution of what I'm getting from Walmart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag the store itself, the price for these items, the product, sorry, and the price. So for in Costco, I'm spending bottled water $18, canned vegetable three, dried beans. So I need a visual to just actually just show me. Okay. So with this visual now, I know I'm spending in Walmart. I'm buying rice at the highest at Walmart, and second highest is my Costco, and third highest is Target. Third lowest, sorry, is Target. So my rice is actually cheapest at Target. Okay, so for each of these stores now, I know I have a breakdown of how much I'm spending for my Walmart, for my Target, for my Costco. I know what I'm spending. Okay, so next thing I want to do is from this now I know that for every item in each store. So I'm going to drag price per product um per store. So now with this visual here, I can see how much I'm spending for rice in the various stores, how much I'm spending for dried beans in all my stores, how much I'm spending for bottled water in all my stores. And this visual actually helps me to say, okay, I'm spending the most money for rice at Target, at Walmart, and the least for at Target, I'm spending the least amount of money for dried beans at Costco, the highest at Target, so I can tailor my shopping experience, or at least my money spending habits, to, I mean, the cheapest in every item. I know if we had all had this solution for different supermarkets or markets in Abuja, we would definitely use it. Because personally, sometimes I like to say, oh, where do they sell maybe body sprays? Provisions are cheaper. Some people say it's in Sahad, some people say it's in Dunes. So yeah, all of this is actually just, you can just implement it even in your life as far as you have data for your shopping in all of these places. Okay. So yeah, from here now I know the most money that leaves my account goes to Walmart. I already know that. But I also know that I can get the same items that I'm getting at Walmart. I can get it at Costco for cheaper and save more money. I also know that Target is actually the middle priced place, but then their rice is very cheap. So I'll actually prefer to go and buy their rice and then buy all my other items from Costco. Okay, so that is what basically this visual actually represents. And that thing I can do is I can decide that, okay, since now I know I should be buying, should I buy everything from the same store? If you look at distribution for the store, Costco is still the lowest out of all of the three. So I know when it comes to shop, Costco may actually be the best place for me. When it comes to items, I know I should actually be going to Costco, but also target this rice that I'm buying. Or could I change maybe the kind of rice I'm buying? Could I change to other items? So we know that certain items are definitely cheaper. With this visual, we know the price in all of these stores, they're not the same. So some things are definitely cheaper in other stores. Um, that helps our decision, to be honest. Okay. Now for each of them, we have to change the titles. And for this one, I want to actually add the data labels because I want to be able to see how much. So we're just going to add our data labels. Oh no, it doesn't look good. It will need more space, so I'm just going to turn it off. So now if you click on it or you just hover over it, you get to see information of it. For this one, I think I would prefer with the data labels on, because that's the only way for anybody to compare it, but also it takes a lot of space. We might as well just remove it too. Okay. So next thing I want to do is I want to see how much I'm spending in these stores, and basically how much of my income goes to this store, and I just want to see it in like percentage. So we have three stores. I'm just going to drag the stores and the price. So how much I'm spending in these stores, and I just want it in a pie chart. So with the pie chart, I know by 34% of my money goes to Walmart. Target gets 33.4%, and Costco gets 2.1%. With this information now, if there are any promotion plans or any points or any things for eligibility for discounts, Walmart have to know that I've been loyal. So I would probably sign up for those things so that at some point I get free bag of rice because of how much I bought it. So that's just another one. Okay. What else would I want to check? I know when you guys are doing this, you might have an idea of what you want to check, but in class, you did not suggest it to me. Okay. So let me just brainstorm a little. Or what do you guys think we can add? You guys think we can add? So I also know that I think here I already know how much I'm spending per store, but I want to know the total of how much I'm spending on every item. Okay. So I'm just going to drag the product and the price. So how much am I spending in total? Wow, I'm spending $60 on bottled water. Canned vegetables I'm spending about $9.50. And dried meat I'm spending 286, and rice I'm spending. Whoa. I didn't even think I was spending this much money on rice. Wow. Anyway, so I'm just going to use another visual to represent it. Um okay. So yeah. So now we know with this, in fact, let's just use the stacked column. Personally, I don't like to see the, but anyway, we can use it just for a change in this our visual. Okay, so for now I can see that my sum of money I'm spending on rice is about 297. On dried beans too is 86. Bottled water $60, and canned vegetable. That's actually a lot of money, you know. So, but it all looks like the same color. So as usual, I'm going to drag the product this time around to my legend. So now we have it in different colors, which makes it better. So we can see all of this, but I actually want to see the price on it. So I'm going to add my data label to it. So it writes it on top, so I can see how much I'm spending. Now, the next thing I want to do is, you can do a lot more things, to be honest. If we had like dates or more than that, you can even narrow it down from what period to what period have I bought things. Was the price increasing or was the price static throughout my purchase? Like, there's a lot more things you can do. But if you look, this is how easy it is to use Power BI for visualization, for data analysis. Because with these diagrams now, you can answer many questions. You go to present it, you already have, by store, this is the what you're spending. Price for by store and product, you already know this is your distribution. For rice per store, this is how much you're spending on each of these stores, in each of these stores, for your rice, for your dry beans. For all the amount of money, you can tell by this how much distribution of money you're spending on your Walmart. For price of product by product, price by product, for your rice and all of this is how much you're spending. And yeah, I think that's it. So, but this is not all for our visualization. We have to make it look really, really good. Okay. Still recording. So what I want to do now is I'm going to, okay, right. I mistakenly clicked on my rice. So I'm going, you can even use Q&A. So maximum price for you've spent on any of the items, it tells you it's $26. So for each of these, whether it's rice or whatever, the maximum, you can use this Q&A functionality for many things. Okay, so that's not all. Let's say we want other things, it will suggest things for you. Maximum price, so let's ask for minimum price. Okay, is 0.65. So probably that's, I don't know, about maybe the what do you call it, the bottled water, dried canned vegetables. Maybe that's what we're getting for $65. So you can ask it like many questions. So you can ask it maybe even how much you spent, or how much money. um what should we ask it? You can ask it other things. So I can ask it as well, like oh, cheapest store for rice. Okay, so that it gives me 20. So where is the cheapest store for rice? I'm coming. Okay, I didn't type store properly. For rice, so it gives me target. For example, I want the cheapest store for bottled water. It would even suggest it. So cheapest store is Costco for $4. So anyway, so for different things you can add this and Q&A, but I'm just going to remove it because I just want to decorate my visual for now. Okay, so first thing we have to do, we have to rename the name of the stores. This doesn't really represent our data. I know it's, so for this one I'm just going to change it. So for each of this, you come for your visual, you come under settings, for you click on the visualization, you come under formatting your visual, and then for general you go to title, and then you change it. So I want to change it to price, no, highest, price, highest money spent per store. Okay, highest money per store. Okay, so I've put that, but then I also need it to be like heading 4. I want it to be bigger. I love Arial black. Then I like the color blue if you don't already know. So this is I've changed the title, and I like it to be centralized because why is this squash at the side? So we're just going to align it, and this is what we have now. Okay, so I can do the same for each of these visuals. Just change the title, which I actually want to do. So I'm going to change them. My general title, and for this one, I'm just going to say price by store actually, and so this is actually okay for me. I'm changing the heading as well to heading 4. I like Arial black. Leave the text as that. Let's just change the color to blue. So, and then I'm just going to justify it to the middle. Same thing I would do for all the others. I will just change it for this one too. Title. And I'm just going to see price by product. Um, Arial black. And then blue. Yeah, I think that's it. This looks good. This looks really good. Same thing for this one too. I'm just going to change the title to price by store. Price spent. Money spent by store. Money spent by store. So heading for Arial black as well. And then as usual I need to change the color to blue. Your visualization has to look as attractive as possible. You don't want to start presenting everybody's like what did she just bring? Okay. So I'll do the same for this one as well. I will change my title to price by product, price spent on every product, amounts, so amount spent per product. Okay, so once I do this, I select heading 4, and then my font is Arial black as usual, and then I'm using navy blue. Sorry, my favorite blue here. I'm just going to justify it with the center, and this is what I have. Now, for example, I want to know how much I spent all together, assuming I didn't know. Okay, I can just get a card and just drag it. When I drag the card, I want to know total money spent. So this is all the amount of money I've spent. Okay, I can change the background or anything. So for this, I'm just going to leave it here. Let's arrange our visuals to look um okay. All right. So I'm just going to drag them because I want to arrange them. I want this to be a bit longer and wider as well. Okay. And then I want this at the top of it, also wider. I want my card to be here to show how much I spent. Okay. For this one, I want it here, but I also want it to be bigger. This should come to the middle. I think the size for it is okay. I make this bigger and a bit longer. Yeah, I think this looks good for me. This as well. And then this too. And I think it looks good. Now I need to add a title. Um Actually this looks too, I might as well just bring this here. Okay. I want to add another card. Let's add another card to represent maybe the product that was the highest, or all the products. So we can, okay, now let's change it to, let's put a card Harvest store. Okay. So so Costco is basically the cheapest store. So I'm just going to change it and come to information, general. The title, it doesn't have a title, or if you want to add a title. Um, I've arranged it like this. I don't like this in black because it shows like it does not really match my, I don't know, my kind of vibe. So I'm just going to go and change it. I'm going to come here for the call out value. That's basically your 654. I want to change it to blue as well. Ah, it looks good. So and I want to change the bottom as well, which is basically the sum of price. I want to change it to blue too. Okay. So that's what we have. Now next thing is I have a dashboard, but I haven't really labeled it. So I'm going to add a text box here and drag the text box. Text box, I'm just going to say for dealers dashboard, um, for dealers sales dashboard, or for dealers campaign, my campaign dashboard. Okay, I'm just going to select everything and I want to maybe size because I want to justify it. I'm going to bring it to the top of my page here. Just reduce it. I want it at the middle, so I'm just going to drag it to the end. Um, it's overlapping this, so I can either reduce this or I can. Let me just take this back. Okay, so my campaign dashboard. Now, of course, the text doesn't look like me considering I've used blue all over this page. Okay, so I'm still going to drag it because I really need it in the middle. I'm just going to select it. I need the text to be in blue as well. Um, Maybe should we say area back? Then yeah, I think this looks good actually. I like this. So yeah, this is my campaign dashboard. So we'll be able to do all of this. We'll be able to sort out our data, highest money spent per store, price per product store. We'll be able to do this. Okay, for this one, we can't see the title of the visual. So I'm just going to pull it down a little bit and then now it's there. So we'll be able to do all of this. And the next thing is normally when you finish, you want to enhance the view of it. Okay, so you can come to your themes, you can change it, you can this the color that fits your vibe. Depending on what color you want, people use purple. You have to adjust all the other visuals to have the same background. Everything has to sync. Some people choose this. Some people want to create their own theme. Some people want to import it. This is a personal favorite, but for today's one, I've already chosen the vibe I'm going for. So I'm just going to go back now. To do that, I'm just going to undo and undo. And now we're back to my visual. Now you can decide to save it. I want to save my visual. I save it as Power BI tutorial one, and it saves it with the PBX extension. I want to save it as documents so I can save it. Okay. Next thing I want to do is I want to export it. I want it to be like a PDF file. By exporting it, this is what my PDF file looks like. I can share it to everybody. Okay. So I think that is pretty much all for Power BI. Um, So in today's walkthrough, basically, we've been able to cover all the essential parts of Power BI. So including the interface, I showed you everything about it. We'll be able to transform data, getting the data, in fact, first, transform the data, model the data, which I only showed you the table. So next week we have to do modeling data in more detail. We've created beautiful visualizations and we have exported it and we've shared reports. Now, we all know that Power BI is a very powerful tool, which all of this, and you know how easy it is because it literally took me how many minutes to do this? I don't think it took me up to 30 minutes. Okay. So Power BI is actually a very important tool to help you to make data driven decisions, because you can transform that raw data that it gave us in this place. We've transformed it into actionable insights, to be honest. So anyway, thank you so much for your attention and your patience. I don't have experience with making videos and editing, so I know you guys will excuse me for that. And feel free to explore Power BI further to unlock its full potential. So happy analyzing, and I'll see you guys in class tomorrow. Thank you.